Welcome to the Tarot Made Simple, a beginner's journey with the alchemical Cabala. The past 2 weeks, we've been coloring and immersing ourselves in key 3. Key 3 in the major arcana is the Empress. And here she is. So, if you would, please unmute yourselves one at a time and share what's been occurring for you these past 2 weeks while coloring and working with the Empress.
Yesterday, while I was at church, I was lis paying close attention to the person playing the piano, and suddenly I thought of the Empress playing the piano for some reason, and then I had also been studying the Deceiver, and then I thought of the Deceiver and Adam and Eve playing the piano, and then there was the cross on the stage, and then I thought, well, the cross unfolded. I mean, the cube of space unfolded is a cross. So that was the first time that something like that really just popped into being for me. I hadn't been thinking of the tarot
Right.
when it came into my mind. So it was an interesting experience.
That is very interesting, Victoria. Thank you for sharing that. It's quite profound. Um, what what you're describing is in line with the Empress in that there is a part of our mind that we share with the mind of the all, what we call the all, as the archetypal mind, right? And it sounds like you just tapped into and opened up your own connection to the archetypal mind. And being fluent in this gives us an ability to perceive a greater reality that we previously didn't perceive. And it's one way we can commune with the all. And it's quite beautiful. You saw the person playing the piano as the Empress. That is just perfect because you didn't premeditate it. It just kind of unfolded for you. Is that correct?
Right. Yeah, that's correct. I wasn't even thinking of the tarot. I mean,
That's
before I went to church, I had done my meditation on the cards, but that
yes.
was like 2 hours before. And so yeah, it just happened. It was amazing. I was like, whoa.
Yes, good. That's quite beautiful. And on the tree, she is the highest horizontal plane, right? Next, just under the spiritual plane. She's the causative plane on the simple tree. And that's the archetypal realm. And when we start to experience life in that way, all of a sudden the path starts to unfold before us and we find ourselves in this living symbolism. It's not something we make up. It's it's very profound and it gives us an understanding of ourself and where we are in the path and life that we otherwise could not understand in the same way. And it's almost impossible to articulate this, right? But it can be experienced and through experience understood. So thank you for sharing that. That's really, really great.
When I look at the card, I look at the law.
Mm.
Um, Love, light, life, the triangle over her heart. Um, and that through through the law we experience God in everything. There's so much love in this card because it's all green. and then the mind of God flowing through this card and then through the other cards. But the true purpose of relation with God, knowing his love and his fingerprint on everything and everybody. And yeah, just it's a beautiful card. It's so soothing to me with all the green and the love, and you see the senses, how we experience this world. The five, I don't know if that's what it means, but I always think of five as the five senses.
No, that's exactly right.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful, beautiful, very peaceful card to me. Yeah.
Thank you, Rachel. That's beautiful, and it says a lot about you as well.
So oftentimes uh, this card is related to Mother Nature, and we we get the triangle, the third card being the third uh, vertex of the triangle, oftentimes representing the Holy Spirit, and she she's the manifest will, the realization of that prayer, the luxury of this manifestation, and she's the epitome of all that is good in the will, the intelligence.
Yes. Thank you, Patrick. So, I have a question for you. Looking at her, look at her gaze. Knowing what you know of the keys 0 through 3, what do you think about that?
Looking up is usually looking in.
Good?
She's kind of looking
Yeah.
beyond the cross.
Yes. Very nice. Good pickup, Nancy. Um, keep going with that.
Something maybe about the past and the future, being in the
Okay.
present,
Okay. All right.
you know,
Right.
gestation. Yeah,
Oh, yes.
yeah.
Gestation, yes. So I'll just point this out for everyone. In the 22 keys of the major arcana, she is the only figure looking in that direction. And like Nancy just said, she's gestating. She's pregnant. Now, think back, take a deep breath, and just muse on the first 0 through 3 keys. What's
Was looking in the direction of the Fool, like
yes,
that angle right there. Yeah.
that's right.
Towards the white sun.
Hmm.
Ah, beautiful.
The cosmic egg and
Yes.
all that. Yeah. Hmm.
Yes. So her gaze is going right up here to the right upper corner, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So she's the only figure who's looking, who's actually seeing the divine self, right? In the full key.
That's that
These,
past and future thing. Oh, sorry. Continue.
yes,
Yeah,
exactly,
I was like,
exactly,
oh, I'm tracking. I'm with you. That's
exactly. And
awesome.
on the
Yeah.
tree, she connects wisdom and understanding, right?
Hmm.
Hokmah and Bina.
Hmm.
She's the door and balance between the two, between the inner and the outer.
The I actually had something to share, but I didn't want to derail just yet, so I can hold it for now.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, just and actually, I'll just say on that note, because I mean, first and foremost, this key's awesome. Just it's been a really interesting 2 weeks. So and actually, uh, uh, Chris, I did send you an email
Yeah, I just
recently
saw it and
on.
it's quite
Okay,
beautiful.
right?
Thank
Yeah,
you.
exactly. And it was something where, and just for context of just coming across this very beautiful. Sorry, it was a Leon Friedrich, Nature or Abundance, if one wants to look it up. But yeah, really stunning in real life. But I just wanted to share just in context of what we were just talking about of how it connects wisdom and understanding. Because something that and I was looking up one of my other journals. And exploring that whole aspect of like ways of knowing and the challenge being that there's just this belief like, oh, it's only one way of knowing. And it was a professor who she studies about theology and English. But anyway, she was talking about how it's like there's multiple ways of knowing, and the aspect of the 8 ways being language, reason, sense perception, emotion, faith, intuition, imagination, and memory. And it's like these are all ways of knowing. And the thing is, what has been in her critique, and what's here nay, but the aspect that there's been this belief like there's only one way of knowing, but in and this is where I say it's because the wisdom and understanding what she connects with the Empress key and what says is where it's the totality of all of it rather than just a head or logical thing. It's more of just like this total being, this whole embodiment, and just there's just a resonance of beauty, if you will. That was something was really being felt the last couple of weeks. But with regards to uh, this aspect of what she's connected to and or what she connects, and also just looking at the cosmic egg, it's like, yeah, she knows. Like there's just like a deeper knowing of like what is coming and what that divine,
Mm.
that beauty that may be missed if one is not attuned. And so, because one of the other aspects I've written on there, just the last bit I'll just say is that, imagination, when aimed and attuned to the most highest good, expands horizons and can transform being. And that was just coming up with when I was like coloring in the key, and I was just
Did you
like,
write
yeah,
that?
I did. Yeah, that's part of, oh,
Would you
it's a whole.
would you
Repeat
repeat
it?
that again? That's quite
Sure.
beautiful.
Sure. Yeah, there's a whole it's the one sent it's the last sentence out of the, my boiled down analysis, if you will. But the imagination, when aimed and attuned to the most highest good, expands horizons and can transform being. And so with that, that's and again, just working with this key, coloring in and just kind of musing and just paying attention. Because that has definitely been a thing, I will say. Like this whole thing of paying attention, because I've been one of my many experimental things doing is just like cutting out, not actively going for music or anything, but just like seeing what comes through. And it's like it created a temporary playlist of like music that would just randomly pop up in my mind, or music I would come across that struck me in a way. And it just, a theme comes out and just starts blossoming forth, if you will. And so just things like that of just working with it, man. So yeah, so just wanted to share it, but yeah, really appreciate it.
Thank you, Easy. That's perfect and excellent. And I'm probably gonna snip that little quote out and maybe put it in comments later if it's all right with you.
All yours, man. It's all good.
Okay, thank you,
Hmm.
Easy.
Yeah.
You really zeroed in on this. This is the key of the imagination. Anyone else?
Yeah, there's a quote: knowledge comes and wisdom lingers in the Library of Congress. I guess it's let me look it up. Knowledge comes, but wisdom lingers. Alfred Lord Tennyson. I think that's on the ceiling in the Library of Congress.
Um, I did have one additional thing I just want to share real briefly.
Mhm.
The because again, the journal, and kind of keeping this with the just random coincidental things, right? But something that and again, it's like shameless plug for Jason Lauderhan,
Mhm.
because I was reading that spoken book Cabala book,
Oh yeah.
and it's on the Empress, and one of the parts that jumped out was I wrote it down, which is after doing neti neti, right? Not this, not that. After doing neti neti with the head, we finally grind it off and realize that meaning is found in the heart. And just
Oh,
that little part kind of jumped out at me. And it's again with the Empress and like seeing that small little triangle, little fire, if you
yes.
will, and just that
Yes.
whole, in the heart, that way to see it all aligned really well. So yeah, just wanted to show it too. So thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I just wanted to say about um, the doves in the picture. You have the dove of peace.
Yeah.
Again, this is a very peaceful card to me. You have that bee, the pollinator.
Hmm?
It pollinates, it creates life. Again, I see that, the and then is this like a double winged dove or what? I'm trying to figure that out. Is that a
Yeah,
double?
there's like four wings
Yeah.
on the spirit there descending. That's the descending spirit, right? As the dove.
Wow. And so I just see those little tiny parts of this card that are so meaningful to the card. The dove of peace and again the pollinator. And she is like looking to be giving birth soon. But how
Yes.
the bee gives us the life that we're talking about, the love, light, life,
Mm,
as the whole card just really speaks that to me. Yeah. That's it.
beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, the bee is considered a associated with royalty, right? Jupiter and the royalty here is it's this new creature, is the new birth of the Son, right? The Holy Spirit coming in. You see how the seven-sided shield is just to the side of her womb, and it just fits almost perfect there, right? Like, and
Mhm.
the descent of the Holy Spirit there into the womb space. This this is alchemical, and it is what occurs in all of us in the path, in the deepest mystical sense, when we begin to more fully incarnate the divinity of our own being through our own subconscious and into the actual world, the door, right? Speaking of, Dalit down here means door. What do you make of this associated with this key?
Gateway. It's the word that comes to mind.
Good.
Kind of odd that this card brings up mastery for me.
Ah,
Like it could be a doorway to that, with the foot on the subconscious, the waters, the love. When you fall back into her as if you are her sitting there with the Holy Spirit at your side. You know
yes.
that Pentecost of knowledge coming down, and she's kind of got it in an embrace of having it, and the scepter that she's not really looking at, but just passed towards the sun, which to me would be her gaze on God, where you meditate into that space and bring yourself down into your heart.
Mm,
And there's like, there's actually three symbols in this card that'll probably end up on a stole real soon. So
lovely.
interesting. Yeah.
That's
Just made,
beautiful.
it made me giggle.
Now, you seem to be emphasizing the foot on the crescent there. And that's an evolutionary phase of the moon, and the lunar cycle, particularly applying to the female gender. Uh, she is in gestation, as you earlier implied, and it's hard to say that this crescent is waning or waxing, but it does, her foot is on it, and it implies her command of the cycle.
Yes.
Another
Very
thing
nice.
is her pearl necklace has 7 pearls on it.
Good. Good pickup.
White pearls.
Oh, and
Yes.
the door to me, the door to the heart, the door to the inner realm, the door to the God self, that whole process of going in, and it's just like the whole light, life, and love. But what it brings you into, the door goes into all of that this card, is showing us, and where we can go with this process.
Beautiful.
Just to share another thing just came up real quick with regards to thinking about the door is just thinking again, I'm kind of thinking about how she is, the bridge between, Hokma and Bina, where it's like, oh, it's like what's a door? It's something that connects. It connects one dimension and then stepping into another, whether you're stepping across a threshold into a room or
Yes.
inside, outside, or whatever it may be.
Yes.
It's like, so yeah, door, what do they say? Like ask, seek, knock, right? Where it's just, you got to knock on the door and so on and so forth. But that being said, it's like the function of a door is not just as a thing that separates, but it also allows to pass forth. So it's really something that connects one space to another space and so on and so forth. So just the word connection and connector was kind of coming up, but
Yes.
just want to share it.
Yeah, I love what you said with the thresholds. It's also a protector. It also protects um
Yeah.
from one state to another, right? So the Great Mother is a fierce protector.
Divine receptivity.
Okay. Anyone else? This feels like a good place to move. Okay. Thank you all. I really appreciate you sharing your light. And just briefly, the Empress in the Western tradition is called the illuminating or luminous intelligence. And the Hebrew letter, as we discussed, Daleth, means door. So she is the creative imagination. And she shows us that the door, the way to enter into the inner planes, is through the focused imagination. We are so conditioned in modern times to have our attention scattered, fragmented. So, I mean, look at the programming we all received in the West with 30-second commercials, right? And or 15-second commercials, or look at this, look at that. And it's even worse now with our doom scrolling, and it's like non-stop image, 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 and we almost never, unless we enter a discipline like we have here, where we focus, learn concentration, the the inner planes become very elusive at best. They're very hard to access to a mind that is just scattered. So the key is a focused awareness. And what focuses our awareness? Nothing focuses our awareness as much as love. And I don't mean, well, it doesn't matter. Whatever definition you want to put on love. You can put it in the most superficial terms or the deepest terms imaginable. It all points to the same source. And the only difference is in degree. So if we desire some thing, whatever that is, the root of that desire is in the heart of love. And we learn through experience that attachment to things just brings us suffering. But the more we let go of the attachment and follow the thread back to the original desire, that fire in the heart, that's when all of these fragmented parts of ourself that we've, from childhood, from birth to the present, we collect them all. This is sacred work. We all do this. And we bring them back into our whole self. So, if you want to enter into a greater knowledge or knowing of anything, you only have to keep your desire focused like the fire in the heart and hold an image long enough until you pierce the veil. And you know when you pierce the veil, you cross this threshold, this doorway. In a way, the Empress shows us through love and focus. This is the key to all the keys of the tarot and all the inner states of the kingdom within. This is why, in the tradition, she, the Empress, is said to be worth more than all fine jewels and all gold. You know, when we experience the world in our vision, notice everything is just imagery. That's all we can perceive with vision is imagery. This is the way the subconscious thinks. It thinks in symbol and form, like the archetypal world Victoria was speaking of when it opened up for her. There is a way to walk in the world where we perceive and understand through the symbols we see in everyday life. And the more we work with the tarot, the more natural our understanding becomes of this state. We learn to read what they call the signs because it's all right in front of us all the time for those who have eyes to see. And the eyes to see comes from the heart. The key is love, love, love. Okay. The Empress helps us break through to really understand and experience that, and not just as some ideal or some state we have to attain. It's just more letting go and letting go and letting go. And then that which is becomes more apparent to us. So, this is why the core practice in the alchemical Cabala is to simply focus on the key. We're doing this in this course through coloring it for 2 weeks and really diving into it. This connects our inner and outer, which is exactly what the Empress does. She is the doorway from our inner subjective, inner plane and reality into what we call the outer or perceived reality we perceive through our senses. Again, this door, she is the doorway to enter the kingdom within. It's very simple, but only you, whoever's watching this now, only you can actually do this sustained visualization and walk through the door. You, you can be shown the door, right? Every key in the tarot is a door, but you have to hold the key in your awareness and your inner awareness as you go to sleep at night. Hold it without allowing the mind to wander. You do that long enough, the inner world opens again for you, right? This is the teaching of ask and you will receive, knock and the door will be opened. This is how you knock. You keep persisting, knock, knock, knock. You're holding that image inwardly in your heart, in your awareness. You're not trying to create something, you're just holding the key. In the subconscious, your incomprehensibly wise subconscious, your intuitive nature takes that imagery and is like, oh, this is what you want, and then opens it for you. Okay.
Okay.
So once you enter the inner planes through love, this is the safe way. Now you're responsible and you have to bring order to your own inner world, which is our next key for the next 2 weeks. So please just give this key a few moments of your attention and notice where your attention is drawn. And then just unmute yourselves, please, and just state one thing that draws your attention. That's it.
The shoe is stepping out.
Nice.
The circle in the Ankh like scepter.
Oh, beautiful. Yes, thank you.
The figure 4 cross, that is the way he's sitting, the legs are in.
Oh, nice. I was drawn to the cross at the heart. That's what I thought you were talking about when you
Mm-hmm.
said, but I see it's like reflected. Nice.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I'm noticing he's holding that in his left hand and she's holding the scepter in her left hand.
Mm. Good
That
pickup.
symbol.
My eye was drawn to the ram on the cube.
Oh, yeah. Good.
It's, the fourth age, I think, was Aries.
Mm.
Fourth month.
Okay.
Emperor is sitting on a gray block as the Empress is sitting on a gray foundational bench. There's a lot of foundational ideas here of love into the Emperor card and the redness of activity.
Yes. So these are the polarities within us of Venus and Mars and love and power, right? But it's worth musing and contemplating how in the sequence of the keys, the Empress, the divine feminine and love comes before authority and power of the emperor.
Tell that to our politicians.
Well, they, they have a ways to go. So
And the
I'll
more
say something. Genevieve said something earlier, reminding me of this. I was just reading this beautiful quote from Inyat Khan, um, and he said that the only power a mystic has is the power of love. That really struck a chord for me.
Knock a house down.
greatest power in the world, right?
Thank you all for your participation, sharing your beautiful light. Enjoy the moon tonight and look forward to your dreams. This concludes this class on the Empress, the Door. The floor is now open for any questions or comments.